and today we're going to be talking about the Magistrates Court.
What ethical issues have you encountered in your visit to the court?
One issue that was observed was the possibility of prejudice or bias. This was based on appearance, occupation, and also the judge himself, who was a lot older than the defendants, making it harder for him to sympathise with or relate to them. In one of the cases observed, it appeared the judge was slightly more lenient in the sentencing of the defendant. This appeared to be based on the fact he was a Marine, therefore risked losing his position in the forces. In addition, the judge also seemed to take into account the fact the Marines were also imposing sanction on him.
In regards to the ethical issues encountered in court, we found that confidentiality was a predominant issue. Arguably there is a lack of privacy as the full case and personal details of the defendant, such as name and address, were disclosed to the court. In contrast, this may in fact be a positive point, as the rule of law was presented in open justice. Additionally, there are no cameras and mobile phones permitted in court.
What representations of power are apparent in the court layout?
The district judge and magistrates are sitting on a raised platform, so they look superior to the others around them, especially the accused. And when the judge enters the room, or leaves the room to make a decision, the usher calls for us all to stand, and this is a matter of respect and to acknowledge his superiority.
If the defendant is accused of a serious crime, he would be led up from the holdings below by 2 security guards, then seated and handcuffed, then restrained in a containing glass area. This shows that the threat is minimized.
The location of the court crest above the judge shows that all are applicable under the law, including the judge. The Crown is always represented through the CPS.
What sort of technology did you encounter in the courtroom, and how was it used?
In the courtroom, we noticed that there were TV screens, a DVD player, computers, and a telephone. The TV screen and the DVD player allowed the court to show the CCTV evidence that was being presented in the cases to both the judge and the public gallery. This was useful in supporting the defendant's case. There was another TV screen in the public gallery, so the public was also able to view the evidence.
The multiple TV screens also allowed for different information to be displayed at the same time. There was also an independent audio system for playing audio files. The clerk also made use of desktop computer, which allowed reports and evidence to be printed as well as printing of fines and that were given as a result of the trial. There are also microphones which allowed the judge to be heard better around the court.
What is the role of the adjudicator? Is the party or defendant represented, and if so, who by?
The Crown Prosecution Service prosecutes, presenting the case against the defendant, and the defendant is represented by the solicitor, and the solicitor will, and on the defendant's behalf, present the defense and aim to prove innocent or ensure a lesser sentence.
The magistrates are the adjudicators. They will hear the facts and the evidence of the case. The legal advisor will guide them on the points of law. The magistrates then discuss the case and decide on a verdict. They also decide the sentence, taking into account any aggravating or mitigating factors.
What is the relevance of the law to the proceedings you observed? How much is it procedure and how much is it theory?
50% was based on theory and 50% on the procedure. Advocates, judge and legal advisors provide the theory, but to have a formal court hearing, you need to abide by the procedure. Otherwise, the balance of power won't be upheld.
And how closely does it resemble the law you've experienced so far in your legal studies?
There was little resemblance. In lectures, it seems that there are much more considerations to be taken into account when we're going through case law. In the magistrates' courts, however, the entire process feels straightforward, as the magistrates are only responsible for sentencing with regards to the facts heard, and we don't see how questions of law are being discussed.